What's up, brother?
Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go hand him a
shittings.
Transformers has had a very mixed bag of movies since 2007. But which one is really the best? Well, let's find out. I'm going to rank every single Transformers movie from very worst to very best, from 07 to 2023. So which movie is the worst? Well, strap in and find out. I see most of these movies receive a mixed bag from majority of people. However, for this movie, it is very much not the case. The Last Knight is a horrifically bad movie. Not just a Transformers movie, it is a horrifically bad film. But I'll switch it up. What is good about this movie? I like the action. Megatron is back with a top 3 cinematic design in the verse. Nemesis Prime is cool and very based. And that's it. I'm not a big fan of Mark Wahlberg in these movies. He doesn't do anything wrong, but he's just way too involved in the Transformers side of things. Tanking a hit from Optimus, and even in the movie prior attempting to 1v1 Lockdown. I like Sam because he does just deal with human things for the most part, with some scenes here and there. In particular in Dark of the Moon, where he gets big involvement with the Transformers. This movie also does just not take itself seriously, putting its plot all over the place, and this death of Anthony Hopkins' character, where Megatron just straight up sends him into the Shadow Realm. It's a fun movie. If you turn your brain off and like cool CGI robots fighting each other, you'll get some sort of enjoyment out of it. But not as much, because it is hard to ignore how bad the movie is. This movie is a definite skip, and if you haven't seen it, you aren't really missing out on anything at all.
Rising up, back on the street.
Rise of the Beasts. This movie to me is very forgettable. Scourge is great and a top 3 main villain in the verse for me, and I love Prime in this movie. However, the movie, like I said, is just a little bit forgettable, and it lacks scenes that really grip you like the movies ahead of it has. My scene that comes to mind is when Prime defeats Scourge. That's pretty cool. And that's about it. I was massively excited for this one. To see Prime on the big screen again for the first time in 6 years. And the OG-inspired designs returned over the original Bayverse ones, which were also cool. Unicron is the villain of this movie, which had me extremely hyped and excited to see what they would do with this character. And all I can say is he got Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. What a shame. I still am waiting for what they left in The Last Knight with him being on Earth, and if we ever get a continuation of that, remains to be seen. The humans are also way too involved in this again. I like Sam, as I mentioned, as he is realistic and also shows spots of heroism, but suiting up and taking on Decepticons is something he never does, and I feel like it's just way too over the top. This movie is okay. It's noticeably better than Last Knight, but I just don't like it very much at all.
Now how about I park my foot in your ass? What size shoe do you wear? Yeah, oh!
Revenge of the Fallen is an interesting one, and the most subjective movie I think in this franchise. Some people fuck with this movie, and others don't. I'm on the fence on this one. It is a major step down from its ancestor in 2007. Is it a bad movie? No, not really. It is definitely not perfect, and not something I would necessarily call good either. This movie does hit its height in the forest scene. Like I mentioned about peaks, I think this movie has one of the best in the franchise, but it doesn't really help the rest of the movie. The Revenge of the Fallen sees the Fallen essentially do nothing for its whole runtime other than get dicked down by Optimus Prime in the third act. Sam's story is interesting in this one, and one of the best parts, but the final act is my issue. It's all over the place for the most part. You have Sam hiding away, you have Simmons and the Devastator, and Optimus versus the Fallen and Megatron, which is a generational matchup that Prime slams them both in. There is a little bit too much happening in the climax at the same time. This is a fun film and definitely Bay's weakest other than the obvious, and it's still a good watch.
Sting like a bee.
Bumblebee is a massive step up, but it's still not amazing. I do really like the character, and I love the old designs that inspired this, and the Rise of the Beasts design. But Bumblebee just falls a bit flat for me. I'm never particularly interested or intimidated by its villains at any point. Bumblebee himself is great as ever, and I have no complaints about him. but this movie just isn't very interesting. It is still a lot more fluid and flows better than Revenge of the Fallen, which is why it's higher on my personal list. And I like the relationship between him and Haley Steinfeld human. The plot is a bit boring, however. A battle-damaged Bumblebee hides in California where he is fixed and then found and then leaves. Like I said, this movie isn't bad. I recommend watching it. It's fun.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Age of Extinction is a movie I've always liked. From first viewing to the one I did for this video, I've always liked this film. From its peaks of Lockdown being an intimidating threat, the humans versus humans story, Prime being captured, Galvatron taking over KSI? There's no way it's called KSI. It's called KSI. Autobots riding out for Ratchet. Oh, I love this movie. It does have its issues. Like I said, I don't like Yeager at all. He is just way too involved in the combat that the Transformers have, even trying to 1v1 Lockdown willingly. Something I liked about Sam, as I mentioned, was that he never had these moments. He kills Megatron in the first movie because he has no other choice, and kills Laserbeak in Dark of the Moon because he also just has to. Yeager just tries to throw down with Lockdown, and without plot armor, the realistic outcome would have been
Human.
Moving on from that, I don't have too much bad to say about this movie. I really like it personally. The Dinobots are fun as hell in the final act, and Optimus' scene where he tames them is great. I, however, don't especially enjoy the way they handled the Battle of Chicago. It isn't forgotten about, but we don't really get an explanation as to where things and how things were obtained or how people died. Cemetery Wind hunts down Autobots and Decepticons using Lockdown, who is a Transformer, the very thing that humans are traumatized by after the Battle of Chicago. That's a little bit odd. And even Joshua Joyce is let off too lightly in the climax, becoming a pro tag, and it's just completely forgotten about that he exploited Autobots to make money, and even have Cemetery Wind kill them. This movie is just marked down by those small things, but to me, it is great. The new Autobot gang is much smaller, but they are really fun to watch, every single one of them. You should definitely watch Age of Extinction, in my opinion.
She did it! She's the one you want! Alright, I was just sitting at home watching.
The two movies most people agree on, I think. But which movie comes out second best? It's the original. Transformers 07 is a really great time, with some of the best humor and action of the franchise. I just think it's a little slow. Megatron isn't established until the final act, and before that, the movie's just a bit flat. The final act battle is so good. It's not Dark of the Moon level good, but it is good. I like this movie, as while it is slow, it takes its time to introduce us to Sam and make him an actual character, and not just feel like a passenger in the story. This Megatron is by far the best for me personally. He is scary, an actual threat, because actually in the next two movies he hides behind someone else, and gets it handed to him when he shows himself. In this movie, he absolutely whoops Optimus and the Autobots, even killing Jazz. This movie is great, but it's not as good as... When I see people talk about the best movie in the Bayverse, this is the one that comes up. And it's my favorite too. Dark of the Moon is a spectacle. It is the best for so many different reasons. We've been with Sam long enough, so we can jump straight into the epic climax without actually spending ages on him. He still gets his time, and I think this is Shia LaBeouf at his best in this movie. Sam is funny, but he also gets some really good moments in this movie to pair with them. Sentinel Prime was a super unexpected twist to the movie's plot, and unlike Megatron in Revenge of the Fallen, he actually proves as an insanely difficult adversary to Optimus, beating him within an inch of his life before Megatron stepped in and ruined Sentinel himself. Speaking of Prime, Optimus in this movie is maybe not characterized and a little bit too bloodthirsty, but I don't know, I love it still. The way he just throws down with the Decepticons in the Battle of Chicago is just fun. It may not be in character for him, but fuck that. It is just sick. And the way he absolutely doms Megatron after he saves him from Sentinel. The human stuff in this movie is really fun. The moon landing being purposed to find the Autobot ship is really fun, and quite eerie too. Sam and Dylan's story is good, and you really grow to despise Dylan and celebrate when he actually gets slimed. This movie also has Jerry Wang. Jerry Wang, the GOAT. Laserbeak eliminating loose ends is also scary, and he's also a relatively threatening adversary for the humans to face. Shockwave finally appears in this movie, and my god, I love him. He's not in the movie much at all, but he is still iconic on the screen with his worm thing. It is disappointing he wasn't around more, but the CGI budget probably couldn't handle it. I mean, look at that thing. This is still the best Autobot group by far. Rest in peace, Ironhide. The scene on the freeway is, oh my god. And the Battle of Chicago is grand, cohesive, and has one primary goal: destroy the pillar. Man, this movie is so good. That is all of the Transformers movies ranked from worst to best. So do you agree? Do you disagree? Comment your lists below. And make sure to smash the subscribe button for more rankings and news. And in this video, I ranked every single Disney live action, and I think you're going to enjoy that.